Alright everyone, it is now time for the round 16 play. Paul, tell us what we have to start things off. Well, Brandon, to start off the round 16 for race number 1, we have Ruben Morton of Norway taking on Paul Chao of Singapore. And there's a look at the lineup for this first race of the round 16. Best of luck to the remaining 16 participants on the quest to become Supreme Champion this year. Please start the race. So, Ruben Morton of Norway and Paul Chao of Singapore look to lift their respective nations one step closer of becoming the next Supreme Champion of the Chao Racing Universe for 2018. Right now, both of these superstars are making their way towards the bridges. Ruben Morton currently leads over Paul Chao at the current moment. Who is going to prevail when they get to the goal line? We'll find out soon enough. And let's find out who will get the first opening toss of the Tournament of Champions. And that first speed bus on the Tournament of Champions, first official speed bus, will be made by number 2. He can't forget about going to rest. He leads to number 7 going to rest. So he will be number 7 and thus. Number 8 will have a little bit of catching up to do. But he and number 7 are both getting left behind from the yellow Super Chao. These two Super Chao are battling for dear life all the way in the back. And it will be number 7 who gets BS number 2. So he will be pulling number 8 and dead meat all the way in back. And back in front, Ruben Morton is going to move on to the round 8. He beats up Paul Chao of Singapore, which will come in second place. Thank you fans of Singapore for being with us tonight. And Norway, congratulations. Ruben Morton is going to move on to the round 8. Your guys are moving one step closer to becoming the Supreme Champion of 2018. Alright, now for race number 2 of the round 16. Who will face Ruben Morton of Norway in the round of 8? Will it be Fernando Stern of Benin or Ryan Allison of the good folks down under in Australia? There's only one way to find out. Best of luck to Benin and Australia on the round 16 race this year. Everyone is on the clock, and let's have a Chao race. So this race will decide who will face Norway and Ruben Morton in the round of 8. Will it be Fernando Stern of the African country of Benin or Ryan Allison of Australia, the land down under? It looks like Ryan Allison is off to a pretty good start ahead of Fernando Stern of Benin. Ryan Allison trying to lead Australia one win closer to win the Tournament of Champions this year. They're both taking the bridges. And who will get the winning toss this time? We're about to find out right now as Ryan Allison toss for one. It's Fernando Stern who gets the winning toss. That's who. He is catching up to Ryan Allison, but I think Ryan Allison might be a better player than him. I do believe Australia is going to move on to the round 8 this year. No doubt about it. And right now, numbers 2, 5, and 8 are battling for DUI all the way in the back. And it will be number 5 who will get the next command speed bus. That's leaving number 2 and 8 in the dust. Ryan Allison trying to wrap things up over Fernando Stern up and in. And looks like he is going to move on, folks. Ryan Allison wins Australia to the round 8. And Fernando Stern is as well as always next time for Benin as number 8 will close out speed bus. Thanks Benin for being with us tonight. We'll see you in next year's World Championship. Australia, you're going to face Ruben Morton of Norway with Ryan Allison in the round 8. And we'll have more something after this, so stay tuned. Alright, Paul, tell us what we have next. Race number 3 will feature Yuban Nurjan from Russia and Will Nutella of Gambia. These two did very well in their opening round races earlier on in the show. But who's going to move on to the round 8? We're about to find out right now. Let's rock this place! Okay, so there goes Yvette and Willow making their way towards the other side of the rainbow path. And now these two Chao are making their way towards the bridges. Yvette currently leaning over Willow by a short distance. And it looks like Will Nutella is going to be heading for the water as the first superstar gets beat is Number 7, who desperately needs to catch up every now and then. And look at this! Will Nutella has paid off his shortcut! He is going to be human of Russia this year. And Will Nutella is our winner. Number 7 would have back-to-back speeders, but speeders was presented by Will Nutella. Number 5 is the real deal, who is way behind the competition. But it's number 7 who keeps command speeders. That technically makes it 3 in a row for number 7. And I do believe that is going to do it for this race. Thank you, Russia, for all your support. I know it's heartbreaking that you lost, but as always next time. Gambia, you're going to move on to the battle 8. Congratulations to you and your staff. We'll see you later on in the show. And now, let's find out who will face Will Nutella and Team Gambia in the battle 8. Will it be Formentaro of Iran or El Zapato of Chile? There's only one way to find out. Good luck to Iran and Chile on the Round 16 race this year. Please start the race. Alright, there goes Formentaro, busting well down the aisles. He is going to leave El Zapato in the dust. Formentaro is one of the fastest superstars of the 48 tournament man roster this year's tournament. Trying to maintain a huge lead over El Zapato of Chile. And there he goes, he's speeding down the aisles. And there he goes, flying down the aisles. He is going to get a lot of ground here, as number 5 wins the winning toss this time around. Formentaro is going to lift Iran one step closer towards a shot at becoming Supreme Champion for 2018. El Zapato will have enough distance to catch up to him in time. As number 8 takes next speeders, Formentaro lifts Iran to the round of 8. That was pure domination for Team Iran and Formentaro. Well done. And number 7 is getting left behind in the competition, all the way in the back. As number 6 will get the last speed bus. Thank you, Chile, for being with us tonight. We'll see you on next year's championship. And congratulations, Iran. We'll see you later on to face off against Gambia. Back in a bit to not go away. Alright, 4 down, 4 more to go, Paul. That's right, the next race will feature Racing Mason of Georgia and J-Do of Japan for race number 5 of the round 16. Let's take a look in the lineup for this next race. Good luck to the staff and fans of Georgia and Japan for supporting Racing and Jay for this next race. Here we go. Let's have a challenge. Alright, so who's going to be the next one to move on to the round 8? Who's going to move one step closer to becoming the 2018 Supreme Champion on the Chao Racing Universe? We're about to find out soon enough, and right now a couple still Chao going to West by way looks at it. Racing Amazing currently leading over number 6 and J-Do, or he's trying to lead over J-Do and the Cameron. And right now it looks like a couple of us still Chao are going to rest, number 6 and 7 to be exact. And both Mason and J-Do are heading for the water. And it's Racing Mason who paid off his shortcut. So Racing Mason's going to move on to the round 8 for Georgia. As number 8 wins the winning toss, Racing Mason dominates over J-Do to lift Georgia to the round 8. What an incredible shortcut strategy to pay off for Racing Mason of Georgia. Georgia's going to move on to the round 8 as number 2, West was number 2 in this race. J-Do a little bit disappointed. Well, that's always next time for Japan. There's always any time of the season. Thanks, Japan, for being with us tonight. We'll see you on the next World Championship. As number 5, who dominates over the 6 Silver Chao, takes the last speeders, and number 1 can just forget about this race. So, Racing Mason moves on to the round 8 for Georgia. That's right, but who's going to face Racing Mason in Georgia? Let's find out right now in this next race. The next race will feature Ryan Melbourne of New Zealand and Shimi Lagas of Ecuador. So, whoever wins this race will go on to face Georgia and Racing Mason in the round of 8 later on in the show. So it's best of luck to New Zealand and Ecuador in this race of the round of 16. Let's find out who wins right now, and they're off. Okay, so Ryan Melville and Jimmy Longers will have the privilege to fight with Rachel Mason of Georgia. Which one of them will get that chance? We'll find out soon enough. Right now, a couple of Silver Child gonna rest, and another Silver Child's pausing for a moment, trying to get some attention here. It is Jimmy Longers who is leading by a short distance over Ryan Melbourne of New Zealand. And number 1 toss for one. They are making their way towards the bridges, and it's number 7 who wins the opening toss this time around. And right now, a couple still going for the water, and number 6 has paid off his shortcut strategy. Now he has a commanding lead after being left behind for a while. He is making his way to the finish line, and he'll come in first place as the next POS will be made by Jimmy Longers from Ecuador. We always decide the winner with the best position of the 8 superstars. Number 6 took in first place, so this race will go to the next person standing. Number 5 is getting left behind along with number 2. But it's number 8 who will get the turn now, trying to catch up to Jimmy Longers, who currently sits in third place. Right now, numbers 2 and 5 are getting left behind, and so is Ryan Melbourne of New Zealand. Well, it looks like Jimmy Longers is going to move on. Number 1 will come in second place, so in third place it is Jimmy Longers who wins, as number 2 will get the last POS. Thanks New Zealand for all your support, and Ecuador will see later on in the round of 8 to face off against Rachel Mason of Georgia later on in the show. Coming up, the last 2 races of the round of 16 will be held, but first let's hear a word from this. Alright, we have 2 more races left in the round 16. That's right, the first event will feature Sean Slater of the defending 4th place finalist India against Tubigo Feta of Brazil. Hope everyone's having a good time here with Portugal so far, so let's keep the tournament going and strong. Please start the race. Alright, so Sean Slater trying to move 1 step closer towards a grand final return for Team India, while Tubigo Feta looks to with Brazil to a grand final after several years of waiting. Right now it looks like Sean Slater is leading over Tubigo Feta by a couple of inches. They are both making their way towards the bridges. Right now the 2 Chao are making their way towards the bridges, and it looks like some of the Chao are going to be heading for the water at the current moment. And let's find out who will get the opening toss of this race. And that opening toss of this race will be made by none other than Sean Slater. And number 1 takes first place. Sean Slater trying to leave Tubigo Feta in the dust. And right now number 8 is getting left behind on the competition all the way in the back of the pack. He really needs some help, and I mean now. But it's number 5 who will get to be as number 2 this race. Sean Slater is going to hold on to Tubigo Feta for second place. So India is going to the round of 8. Thanks to all the fans of Brazil for being with us tonight. And India, congratulations, with a second place finish behind number 1. Sean Slater and the folks of India are going to move on to the round of 8. They move 1 step closer towards their redemption this year. And now the final race of the round 16 for this year's tournament will feature Parkour Sinjas of Korea and Carlos Lang of Costa Rica. So who is going to join Sean Slater and Team India in the round of 8? There's only one way to find out. Everyone is on the clock. Pass it up to Korea and Costa Rica, and let's have a Chao race! Alright then, Korea and Costa Rica are all we have left for the round 16 for the 2018 tournament champions. Everyone showing having a great time cheering on all 48 nations, including the ones right now for Korea and Costa Rica here in the round 16, as this round comes to a conclusion. Right now it looks like a couple of silver Chao on the rest. Right now it is Carlos Lang who has the lead, and look at that. The course in charge of Korea's going to rest, which means Carlos Lang is going to have full control of this match for the moment. as number 1 wins the opening toss, and 1 the silver Chao is going to rest. And right now Carl's laying pauses from 1, so he'll drop down a couple of places. Right now poor number 8 is getting left behind again. Number 5 seems like he also really needs some help every now and then. But who really got speed best number 2? It's number 2, that's who. And number 7 is going to rest. That means number 2 will have command of the lead. Carl's line will move up to 2nd place at the current moment. Carl's line trying to maintain the best position over the course in just of Korea as he makes his way towards the top hill, as he will get the next command SPS. Number 2 is going to come in 5th place, and number 5 is getting left behind on the competition. As Carl's line wins Costa Rica to the round of 8. They're going to face Sean Schneider of India later on in the tournament. As number 1 will get another turn. That makes it the 2nd speed boost of the race. Thank you, Korea, for being with us tonight. We'll see you in next year's championship. Congratulations to Costa Rica for making it to round 8 and all of the 8 remaining nations in the tournament. Lots more fun after these announcements. Welcome back to the Tournament of Champions. We're having a blast so far tonight here in Lisbon, Portugal, and we are down to just 8 nations in the decision of becoming the next Supreme Champion of the Chinese Universe for the 2018 Championship season. Paul, tell us who we have first. Race number 1 of the round of 8 semi-finalists will feature Huba Morten of Norway and Ryan Ellison of Australia. Both Norway and Australia did very well in their opening round and round of 16 races. But which one is going to advance to the grand final and having a shot at becoming Supreme Champion this year? We're about to find out momentarily. Our 4 round of 8 races will be held on the Sapphire portion of the course. And right now there's looking at the lineup for semi-final number 1. Best luck to Norway and Australia on a quest for victory. Everyone is on the clock, and please start the race! Okay, so Norway and Australia will have the privilege to start off the round of 8. And right now, number 2 is going to rest, so he will be left behind in the crowd. Ryan Ellison off to an excellent start ahead of the competition, but I'm sure Huba Morten is doing his best to catch up to him in a hurry. Ryan Ellison is going to lead the 8 Chao as he makes his way towards the wall. And who will get the first speed boost of the Sapphire portion of the round of 8 portion of the tournament? It's number 5, that's who. That was enough to take the lead over the 6 silver Chao. And right now numbers 1 and 2 are getting left behind. And now number 8 is taking rest. So now he will drop down to last place. As PUS number 2 in this race, we made by Norway's Huba Morten, who is battling with Australia's Ryan Ellison up in the very front. Huba trying to make the pass for Ryan Ellison at the upper hand early on. I do believe Huba Morten is a better flyer than a swimmer too. I think Huba Morten is going to lead Norway to the grand final this year, yeah? Now as number 2, well, the next comes SBS. Huba Morten is swimming away from Ryan Ellison. Ryan Ellison will have enough distance to catch up to Huba Morten in time. As number 1 takes the next appearance, Huba Morten lifts Norway to the first grand final appearance. What a deal by Huba Morten. Thank you, Australia, for making it this far. We'll see you on your next year's World Championship. Norway, congratulations. You and Huba Morten are going straight to the grand final. Back for semifinal number 2 after this. Alright, so Norway is finalist number 1. Now let's determine finalist for number 2. That's right, it will feature Will Natel of Gambia versus Foy Metalo of Iran, who is one of the fastest runners by the way looks at it. Who will join Norway and Huba Morten in the grand final as finalist number 2? We're about to find out right now. Let's rock this place! Alright, there goes Foy Metalo running wild on the Alps, trying to fulfill a Cinderella story for Team Iran this year. And right now, number 8 was going to rest, so he'll be left behind in the competition for a while. Will Natel of Gambia belling his fans of Gambia if he wants to get into the grand final, but I think Foy Metalo is really too fast to handle. And who will get the winning toss this time around? It is going to be number 8, who just took a rest a while back. Now he'll be able to catch up a little bit. And right now number 2 pauses for 1, and it looks like number 5 is going to rest. So these two Chao will be left behind for a while. As number 2, West Beavis number 2 at this race, catching up to number 5 for dear life. Formental has the commanding lead over Will Ontario Gambia. He is leading Iran to the grand final this year. No doubt about it. As number 7 will get the next yes, and he dominates over the 6-0 Chao in third place. Yep, Iran's gonna have a shot at becoming the supreme champion this year. Formental is finalist number 2 for Team Iran. As number 2 will get another turn. That makes him second to the race. Thanks, Gambia, and your fans for being with us tonight. Feel free to cheer on our grand finalists later on in the show. Alright, we will see you later on in the grand final at the end of the show. And we'll have the second half of the round of 8 races after we present a word from this. Alright, so we have room for 2 more spots in this year's grand final. You said, Brandon, one of those remaining spots will be decided between Racing Mason of Georgia and Chimilacas of Ecuador. Let's head back to the semifinal portion as we take a look at the lineup for this finalist number 3 race. Or semi-finalist number 3 race, as a matter of fact. Who is going to be finalist number 3? We're about to find out right now. Please start the race! Alright, so Racing Mason of Georgia and Chimilacas of Ecuador will fight to decide who will join Norway and Iran in the 2018 Grand Final at the end of the show. Chimilacas off to a pretty good start ahead of Racing Mason of Georgia. Racing better hurry up if he wants to catch up to Chimilacas of Ecuador. Who will earn a shot at the 2018 Supreme Champion? We'll find out soon enough. As the first superstar gets beat first is number 5. And he catches up a little bit after resting for a while. And now number 8 is getting left behind in the competition. The 6-0 Chao are making their way, climbing up the wall in the back. And who will get speed race number 2 of this race? It's number 1 who gets speed race number 2. And he takes the lead over the 6-0 Chao from number 5. Chimilacas is approaching home stretch. Racer Mason trying his best to stay alive. As number 1 gets back-to-back spears. And there goes Chimilacas, leading Racer Mason into this with her swimming ability. Chimilacas is finalist number 3 in the 2018 tournament. Her swimming ability paid off. They say that Chimilacas is one of the best swimmers in the league. And she is going to the grand final this year. As number 8 will cross on the speedways. So Ecuador is going to reach the grand final for the second time in their career. The first was in 2014. That's right, they might have as well off this year. They didn't have a chance to win it all this year. And who will join Ecuador in the grand final? We'll find out after this. Alright, Paul, this is it. Semi-final number 4 to determine the final spot in this year's grand final. That's right, this battle will be between Sean Slater of India and Carlos Lang of Costa Rica. The winner of this next race will go on to face Huber Morton of Norway, Formental of Iran, and Chimilacas of Ecuador. So who is going to face those 3 nations in this year's grand final? We're about to find out right now. Go on to the remaining 2 nations on their quest for victory. And please start the race. Here we go. Alright, so let's find out who will be facing Norway, Iran, and Ecuador in the grand final for the 2018 Tournament of Champions. And down goes Sean Slater. That's going to cause a serious damage. Sean Slater trying to defend the lead over Carlos Lang at the current moment, and he pauses for 1. That means Carlos Lang will command the lead as the first superstar gets beat first is number 7, who dominates over the 6-0 Chao in 3rd place. Right now, number 6 is getting left behind on the competition all the way in the back. And he will get speed best number 2 as number 8 follows for a moment. Sean and Carlos have made their way to the top of the wall, and now they're rushing past the waterfall along with number 7 up in the front. As the next speed best we made by number 5, who leads the other 4-0 Chao in the dust. Sean Slater and Carl Slang are making their way towards the goal line, and I do believe with the flying ability, it looks like Costa Rica is going to join the others in the grand final this year. So, as number 2 takes the next speed bus, Carl Slang is going to lead Costa Rica to their first grand final appearance in their career. Carl Slang is finalist number 4 for Costa Rica. That means Costa Rica is going to face Norway, Iran, and Ecuador in the grand final this year for 2018. Thanks everyone of India for all their support over the past year. And Costa Rica, we will see you and Carl Slang in the grand final in the next segment. Congratulations to you all. So, our 4 finalists for this year's fight to become the 2018 Supreme Champion of Chao Racing belong to Norway, Iran, Ecuador, and Costa Rica. We'd like to congratulate these 4 nations for making it this far. They will receive an automatic bid to next year's 2019 tournament, and whoever wins this year's tournament grand final. We'll soon know who will prevail in this year's 2018 tournament champions with a grand final coming up. By now though, let's hear a word from this. And now, Chao Racing fans, it's time to present the grand final of the 2018 Chao Racing Tournament of Champions. Yes, 48 nations give all their best for the respective fans of those 48 nations. Now we are down to just 4 nations that will have a shot at becoming the next Supreme Champion of the Chao Racing universe. So audience, here is your cast for your decision of becoming the next Supreme Champion of the 2018 Championship season. Will it be Huba Morten of Norway? Foy Metal of Iran? Shimilakos of Ecuador? Or Carl Slang of Costa Rica? The fans that heard the vote, let's find out who wins it all. Take it away, Paul. Alright folks, here we go. The 2018 Grand Final of the Tournament Champions will be Huba Morten of Norway, Foy Metal of Iran, Shimilakos of Ecuador, and Carl Slang of Costa Rica. It will be held on the course, so audience, let's count down backwards from 5 to start off the Grand Final. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's have a Chao race. And there goes Foy Metal running wild on the Osmo Team Iran. As we're on the way in the Grand Final here in Lisbon, Portugal. And like we always say, anything can happen in the Chao Racing universe. Especially when it's the biggest night of the 2018 championship season, the Tournament of Champions itself. Right now, Foy Metal is dancing to the beat, but he's off and running, leaving Huba Morten in the dust. Foy Metal trying to maintain a big lead ahead of his opponents right now. And let's see who will get the opening toss of our Grand Final. And that opening toss of this year's Grand Final will be made by number 7. Who is leaving number 8 in the dust. Shimilakos is swimming like crazy. This is the 2nd year that Shimilakos has reached the Grand Final. The 3rd time in the last 5 years for Ecuador itself in the Grand Final. They done it with Sonia Hadias back in 2016, 2 years ago. Maybe they'll win it on this year with Shimilakos in her 2nd appearance in the Grand Final, as she will have speed best number 2 in this race, battling with Huba Morten of Norway and Carl Slang of Costa Rica. And in fact, they're all catching up to our current leader, Foy Metal of Iran. Foy Metal better hurry up. He is getting tailgated by all his opponents that come on, as the next appearance we made by number 1. As he passed the 1 minute mark, he is getting left behind the competition. But number 8 is the real deal, who is way behind of the others. And right now, number 2, possible one, trying to get some attention here. Poor number 8 trying to get some help, and he will be. He gets the next command appearance, but he's still behind number 1 for DY. Back with front for Matao, trying to defend the lead over Shimmy Lockus and Carlos Lang, who are battling for second place at the current moment. Who will prevail when they get to the home stretch? We'll find out soon enough. Next belongs to number 1, who is catching up to number 7 for we want to force to a Chao. That will be poor number 2 and poor number 8 battling for dear life in the back. And who got the next one? It's Ecuador's Shimmy Lockus. She is one of the fastest swimmers in the league, and I do believe she will have a chance to make the pass before Matao. She is swimming like crazy, folks. She is making the pass before Matao, and Ecuador is going to celebrate. As Carl Lang takes next speed-wise, Shimmy Lockus wins another for Ecuador. That's going to be followed by a man on for Matao in second place, and Ruben Morton will take the third place podium for Team Norway. Thanks to all of our finalists for another great championship season. Numbers 2, 7, and 8 have no hope for surviving whatsoever. Congratulations to all the staff and fans of Team Ecuador for winning the 2018 Tournament of Champions. We're going to present the trophy presentation when we come back after this break. So stay tuned. It's going to be an exciting one for Team Ecuador. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we present the final standings for this year's 28th Annual Chao Tournament of Champions. Our third place winner, from Norway, Ruben Morton. Our second place winner, from the great Middle East country of Iran, Matao. And our first place winner of this year's tournament, fans of Ecuador, say hello to your supreme champion for the 2018 championship season, Shimmy Lockus! Congratulations to Shimmy Lockus and Team Ecuador! They waited 5 whole years to get their dream come true, and they done it for 2018. That means they will host next year's 2019 Tournament Champions in their capital city of Quito. Congratulations to all of our finalists for making it this far. And let's hear it one more time for Team Ecuador and Shimmy Lockus. And so we have reached the end of our 2018 championship season. We'd like to thank all of our nations from across the world, including the 48 nations in this year's tournament, for another fantastic season. I am your Master Ceremony signing off for another year. Keep on smiling, have a great holiday season, and we'll see you next year in Quito! Sports Ecuador with Brad Chang signing off. Thanks for joining us for our annual presentation of the Chao Tournament of Champions. All regular races will resume next week, so be sure to miss it then. See you next week, everybody! And we'll see you next year for the 2019 Tournament of Champions.